Have you ever wondered what kind of apartment you could get if you move to Vietnam? Here's what $350 gets you in FPT City Da Nang. Here we are. Here's Swan, and this is Ishel. This is their new place.
Welcome to our new place.
All right.
Welcome to our crib. So this is our kitchen. Everything came already with it. Microwave.
Minus the spices.
Refrigerator. Minus the spices and everything on the counter. With the kettle came with it. Tables came with the place. Beds. So we got our toilet, and then we got our shower. So we wanted to have a partition, so a separate bathroom, but that's not possible at the price point. And it's very difficult to find a partition in Vietnam. I guess that's kind of a Western thing. It's not so much of a Vietnamese thing. But yeah.
And it's to keep building supply costs down. Originally, partly the reason.
Oh, I was wondering why.
Yeah.
So yeah, very typical for a Vietnamese household not to have a partition. We wanted that, but for how clean the apartment was when we first came and saw it, and given that every really good apartment gets taken off the market really quickly, we had to jump on it, and you're not gonna get everything that you want. Now, if you have the money for it, you can get whatever you want. You can get a 3-4 story house, right, and have everything top end. But we're looking for a lower budget. We got this one for $9 million V&D per month, so around $340 USD. But that's not typical for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. You're gonna be looking around $13 million to $16 million. We just got a really good deal. We hopped on it as soon as it was on Facebook Marketplace. It was probably on Marketplace for 1 or 2 hours before I sent a message. And I was like, can I go see this today or tomorrow? And she's like, yeah, come see it tomorrow.
And he was okay with seeing it tomorrow, but I was like, no, we need to see it now. We need to see it tonight.
Cool.
And so thankfully, Michelle pushed me to go see it because we had been apartment shopping. We went to 3 different apartments. And that day. And we saw a couple nice ones, but they were all 1 bedroom for the price point, right? Around 9 to 12 million. That's what we're looking for. They're all studio style 1 bedrooms. And I was like, Isha, I love you so much, but I need my space. I want my own bedroom.
Yep.
And we found it, in our previous video, we actually found a place, but that place fell through. That place fell through because what we ended up learning is that in order for a Vietnamese person to rent to a foreigner, they have to have safety codes. So for example, I believe this is a sprinkler or a fire alarm. Or both. You have to have fire extinguishers. So there's a couple in the hallway. They're outside. So
Show. Keep walking and show.
And so if you see here, we also have some more fire extinguisher. I'm not sure if it's a sprinkler right here. Kind of looks like it could be. Or if it's
Looks like a fire alarm. Yeah, it's alarm.
So the other place that we went to, the one that we rented, handshake agreement and everything, it ended up not working out because they weren't up to code to rent to foreigners.
That's in a previous video that we'll link somewhere here.
Yes, we'll link the video here. So go check it out. That apartment was even better than this one. That was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. And
this one's a little bit more clean and modern though.
This one's a little bit more clean and modern.
Yeah.
But that one was a little bit more spacious, in my opinion. And it had an extra bathroom, which was nice. So yeah, this was a really good find. So we hopped on it immediately, gave a deposit same day, and it kind of feels scary to give a deposit here in Vietnam because it kind of feels like you're getting scammed in a sense. But luckily, our landlord, she does this all the time. So she was like, I'm gonna send you a text message on WhatsApp, claiming that you sent me $9 million as a receipt. And I was like, okay, perfect. And then she showed me the contract. She immediately sent me the contract. So I was reading through the contract. It's pretty self-explanatory. Most of it's in Vietnamese, so I just threw it in ChatGPT to make sure that there wasn't nothing out of the ordinary. And it was just everything was above board. And then we came in last night, and she was like, okay, we're gonna go through every single line item because everything's already here. So the bedding was already here, the pillows were already here, In the kitchen we have bowls, we have knives. Everything that you need to live here was already here, so everything is a line item on the contract. So we just went through each single line item to make sure that everything that was stated was there. Because at the end of the contract, everything's gonna need to still be here, and if it's not, I have to pay for it. And the details on how much each line item is. One of the things that when we first came, the internet wasn't up to what we wanted. So we were asking the previous people that lived here, and you'll see this a lot in Vietnam. Whenever you're looking at different apartments, so sometimes the people that are leasing it are still there because the apartment owners, they don't want to lose the.
In case the apartment owners lose the. You're going by the line items?
Yes. Yeah. Just in case you miss out on something. So yeah, they go line item by line item, and we check it off. Another thing that ends up happening here in Vietnam is that we came and checked out the spot, this place, and the people were still living here. And a lot of the places that you go to, you'll see that the people still live there because the apartment owners, they don't want to lose out on the profit. So as soon as the one person moves out, they want to move another person in as soon as possible. And they don't want to let the apartment sit. So the people were here, and I asked them, I was like, hey, like, how's the Wi-Fi? And they're like, oh, the Wi-Fi sucks. Or like, it's good sometimes. And I was like, so how fast speeds do you get? And she was like, oh, we get like 50 millibytes per second. And I was like, oh yeah, that sucks. Like, for what we're doing, right? We're content creating. We're doing video calls across the Pacific. And I was like, oh, that's not good. And so I asked the homeowner, the landlord, I was like, hey, can we install our own internet? And she was like, oh, like the internet's free. I was like, yeah, but it's not fast enough. And she was like, oh, well, we can get you your own router. And I was like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, we can do that for 100,000. And I was like, oh, really? So 100,000 VND is $4 around approximately. And I was like, oh, yeah, let's do it. So I sent her the money when I sent her the deposit. And like we walked in and it was already installed, and now we got between 300 to 400 millibytes per second. And we're gonna see if that's enough for us, and if not, we're gonna upgrade to like a 10 gigabyte plan. Because luckily we live in FPT City, so that's possible here. You only see that typically in Hanoi and in Ho Chi Minh, where those types of speeds are possible because you need fiber optic cable. But because FPT City is a new city, and it's by FPT, so FPT is a technology company, and they sell Wi-Fi. That's one of the major things that they do. They have already invested the infrastructure here. So they say that FPT City is like the Silicon Valley of Vietnam. So we're in a really great place for high quality internet while we're here. So that was a big selling point for us, is to like having that high quality internet, because a lot of times you'll hear a lot of foreigners complaining about the internet isn't good where they're at. So if your internet is not good, talk to your landlord and see if you can get your own Wi-Fi. We saw plans you can get them as inexpensive as like 200,000 per month to as expensive as 1.8 million per month. And the 1.8 million is for the 10 gigabytes per second, but you're paying for what you're getting. And in the States, you can't even get that pretty much anywhere. So yeah, here's my room. So check it out. So this is my desk. Now we're just getting set up right now. We literally just moved in. So I haven't set everything up exactly how I want it, but here's my laptop. Here's my extra screen, my extended screen. Here's some of the technology that I use, some books that I have. Over here we have my closet. So up top, we had enough space to put our suitcases, which I really love because I don't want to be looking at my suitcases because I feel like I'm still traveling, but now I feel like I'm at home. And here's my closet. So I still need to organize a little bit, but here's all my shirts, or most of my shirts, and then I have some other stuff down here. But then on the other side, we got more storage space. Got all my clothes. I got way more space than I need. Like, I can buy more things, so I'm pretty excited about that. Got a nightstand here where my book bag is.
Now we're gonna check out Michelle's room.
Now we're gonna check out Michelle's room, so come check it out. So this is Michelle's room, her bed. We got her desk here. She's got her extended display, her laptop. Desk already came, chair already came. We each have an AC unit. She has her own bed. And then she also has a closet. Now she's also just moved in. So she still has her luggage here, but we're going to put it up here. Well, we'll see if it fits. It may not fit, but we'll see. And then here we have our balcony. So it's actually a pretty big balcony. One of the biggest that we saw in all the places that we went to. And we actually have a washing machine. But like a lot of places in Vietnam, you're actually not going to find a dryer. So our dryer... No. It's not a dual. Or is it? No.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
But I know a lot of places in Asia, like when we were in Malaysia and Japan, they were dual.
They had dual?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I did not know that was a thing.
Could be.
We'll double check. But we do have a clothes hanger here. So this is where you hang your clothes for it to air dry.
So look at this, they got fire burning there.
Fire. Oh yeah. There's a fire burning down there. So it's something that you see a lot in Vietnam and a lot in Southeast Asia is people burning things. Just to get rid of things. But it's part of the culture. Apparently it's worse off in like other Asian countries. But here, you can live with it. I guess only during Tet, that's when everybody was burning everything. For spiritual significance, it's like burning away the old and like to make way for the new. But other than that, like it's pretty manageable. It's not always that people are burning things. And we got some chickens right here.
What do you think of the construction noise around here? What do you think of the like was there much construction noise here?
Oh, so construction noise. So one thing that we noticed is that when you're looking for apartments, especially in the Nang, you're not gonna escape the construction noise. Every single apartment we went to, there's construction going on. As far as what we've been here so far, I mean, we've only been here for a couple hours, and it's a Saturday. And so, because we have a construction site literally right next door. And like we haven't heard anything today, but the people that were here previously, the previous tenants, they were telling us like it's been kind of crazy for them. It was like driving them crazy. But the majority of it's done. Now they just have to do the inside, and I would expect that within the next month or two, that project's going to be done. We're going to be here for the next 6 months. Hopefully they don't start another project across the street or on the other side. But again, you can't escape construction. It's a growing country. It's a growing city, and you're gonna have growing pains, right? And I like to think about it like, well, they're building and I'm building. So like I'm building, me and Ishel are building our business, and it's just like giving us that constant reminder of, you know, we're in a place that literally is building itself out, and we're building ourselves out. So yeah, it's just like that external reminder. But you got to find different ways to make it make sense to you. And this might be a big write-off for a lot of people, because if you don't want to, like, and CJ can tell you, if you don't like construction noise, just don't come. Like, as far as like living here long term, you can come, and there's certain spots that you'll go to if you want to live here long term that won't have construction noise. But for the most part, there's building everywhere.
Yeah. What do you think about FPT being 20 minutes away from you know, My K Beach and all that? Do you think it's worth the drive, worth the savings?
So for FPT being around 20 minutes away, in my personal opinion, from like My K Beach, like from it being that far away, I'm okay with being that far away from the beach. I mean, if we really wanted to go to the beach, we can go to the beach right here. It's 5 minutes away, if we really wanted to.
Or away from like most of the activities in the city.
So away from most of the activities in the city, that is true. It is pretty far from all the activities in the city. Now again, I'm here to build. I'm here to like do my schoolwork as well, because I'm still in school. So I'm not here to go out and party every night or every weekend. If I need to go to the city, it's a 20-minute drive. It's not that bad. But if that is something that you like, you want to be close to the action, like don't move out here. Like just don't, because it is a far drive. In like when you're on a motorbike, it does feel far. Not gonna lie, but that's not something that I'm 100% interested in. Is like going out every night. Like I'll go out once a week, twice a week. The biggest thing I'd say is like you don't have as much of a selection of food, of Western food out here. So if that's something that you're interested in, like going back to eating burgers, pizza, or so on and so forth every night, this may not be the place for you, right? But overall, for me, it's a big value add. So it's like the what I'm getting for, and for me, like I really like calmness. I really like there not being a lot going on, and in Da Nang, there's always something going on. Like there's a lot of noise as far as like a lot of movement, and for me, like I'm very sensitive to energy, so it just feels like a lot of chaotic energy, whereas here is very calming. So there's a certain point around 5 to 10 minutes away that as soon as we cross it, both me and each other were like, oh, like our bodies relax just because of the change in energy. So things are slower here, and I'm okay with slower, but if you're not okay with slower, stay in the Nang.
And what amenities have you seen nearby? Have you seen good grocery stores so far, coffee shops?
So far, as far as amenities here in FPT City, there's not as many as Da Nang. There's just not. There's workspace. So I have a workspace down the street. It's actually really nice. I have a grocery store down the street. It's actually really nice. It has pretty much everything that you need to create and to like live here. They have like all your kitchen supplies, because this area is actually known for FPT University, which is right behind us, right behind our building. So FPT is known for that, and so there's a lot of university students here. So everything I need is right down the street. So a lot of people move here for short term to go to the university. But it's not Vincom. Let's be honest. It's not the mall. Like it's not. You don't have everything, absolutely everything, but you have what you need.
And at a low price.
And at a lower price, yeah. Oh, yeah, at a lower price.
Yeah. Any closing remarks?
I mean, this is our first day here. We'll see how the drive ends up being. I so far like really like it here. I like how calm it is. I like how everything. I just really like it here. I really like the vibes. I really like I got the space that I want. I like that I can just go out on a walk whenever and not worry about getting run over. Of course, a lot of the drivers are really good in Da Nang, but you still kind of have that worry in the back of your mind. But here, everything's great. But that's on day one. We'll see later on. We'll give you guys a follow-up, and maybe when we move out in 6 months or a little bit later after that, and let you know like how it was, right? But yeah.
All right, there you heard it first from Juan. Juan, thanks for being on and showing us your place. This is FPT City. If you got any value from this, I'm doing more content just like this, so please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. Greatly appreciate the follow.